Hi everybody, welcome back to Cantonese food recipes. Tonight I'm showing you guys how to make some delicious crispy beef, sesame crispy beef with a little bit of chili kick. So before I show you guys how to make this recipe, let me just taste some of this delicious crispy beef that I just made. Okay, check this out. Look at how beautiful that looks. Let's taste. Very crispy with a tangy kick. Okay, enough tasting. Let me show you guys how to make this. Okay guys, let's prepare the beef. Over here I'm using some T-bone steak over here. So I'm first removing the bone. You can use any kind of beef you like. And as you can see over here, I am cutting some beef strips. So I added my beef strips to a bowl and it's time to marinate the beef. So first I'm adding in 1 teaspoon of salt. Then I sprinkled some white pepper. Then I added a tablespoon of crushed garlic and ginger. Gave it a quick mix with those spices before I add in the wet ingredients. So now I drizzled some soy sauce. I drizzled some oyster sauce. I gave it a good drizzle of sesame oil. Gave it a good mix again. Now I will add in 1 to 2 teaspoons of cornstarch to thicken up the marinade so that all the sauces and spices can stick onto the beef, and let it marinate in the fridge for 1 to 2 hours. Now it's time to coat the beef. When we coat the beef, we're going to crack in 1 egg and then give it a good mix. The egg will act as a binding ingredient to the flour. So over here I'm adding in all-purpose flour to a bowl. And I added in 1 teaspoon of cornstarch and whisked up the ingredients together. Okay, this should make some crispy beef over here. So now we're just going to wellly coat the strips of beef and then add it to a tray before we deep fry them. Just like that. Okay, it's time to deep fry. Over here I preheated some sunflower oil. And we're going to fry these beef strips twice. So the first fry is going to be 1 to 2 minutes, and then we're going to lift it out. Just like that. Then we're going to lift it out. And then when we are about to when we're about to cook our crispy beef, we're going to do the second fry over here on high heat. The oil must be very high, and we're going to fry the beef for 5 to 7 minutes until it's very, very crispy. Just check that out. Looking so good. And then you can also see it's very, very crispy. We need it very crispy before we add in the sweet and sour sauce. Okay, now it's done. We're gonna put it on a plate. Now we're gonna prepare the sweet and sour sauce. So first I added in some olive oil and I cut up 1 chili. And we're just going to stir the chili a bit to get the flavors out. Then I added in some crushed garlic and ginger. So we're going to get that aromatic oil flavor first. Then I poured in enough water for my chili beef. And I also poured some white vinegar. And for the sugar, I added in some Chinese rock sugar over there. Let that rock sugar melt in that water and vinegar. Once it's melted, I add in some tomato sauce and give that a good mix as well. Once all the ingredients are fused up, I also added in 1 teaspoon of salt. And the sauce looked thick to me, so I didn't prepare no cornstarch slurry. Okay, once it's done, we're just going to pour it on top of our crispy beef over here. You can toss it in the sauce if you like, but I prefer to just pour it over the beef. And then I sprinkled a good amount of sesame seeds. And there you go. You got some delicious chili crispy beef. Guys, if you like this recipe, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks guys for watching.